Joining me now is Ohio Congressman Michael Rulli. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. So I've been talking about this a lot recently. The idea is to cut into so-called mandatory spending that perhaps is not so mandatory. Some of those programs that are under the title of mandatory spending, but they're not Social Security or Medicare. Can you explain to us what your offsets are?
Well, Maria, I'm a butcher by trade, so in the federal government, there's a lot of fat that we could cut out. And I think Speaker Johnson and Chairman Arrington are definitely on that. We're going to cut fat from all these projects that the federal government is implementing through DOGE, and we're going to take that money and we're going to be able to have this bill. The chairman should have it ready and markup tomorrow. Lindsey needs to calm down. His approach to a two-bill system is flawed and is wrong and will never pass the House. He knows this. His rhetoric is irresponsible.
Why is it irresponsible, and why won't it ever pass the House? You all want to raise money for the border deportations. You want to raise money for defense spending, right?
We want to take care of both of those, but we want to do it very methodically. We want to make sure we have the money there. He's rushing to the end. We only have 1 or 2 seats majority in the House. We're going to get no Democrat votes. For him to try to do those 2 bills, that first bill that he's pushing for will go through immediately. And then all the stuff that we have to work on will get stuck. He knows this. Please, one beautiful bill. This is what President Trump wants.
So the other things that will get stuck, you mean extending the tax cuts?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Why? Because you feel like you have members that won't vote for the tax cuts unless there's a lift in the SALT cap.
Well, I mean, SALT right there, you take California and New York and you're basically just throwing it away. That debate will go way past April. You know, we need to have this done by April. One beautiful bill. So all members will feel a little bit of pain, but we'll get to the end result that President Trump wants. President Trump made it quite clear. He wants one big, beautiful bill. Let's get it done. Let's do the hard work right now. And we're on schedule.
Well, Lindsey Graham says you're not, right? He says he's not going to wait around for this big bill to come out of the House.
Well, we're going to see what's going to happen. Tomorrow's Thursday, and that's when a lot of light will come into the situation.
Why?
Because the markup should be coming out with Chairman Arrington, and I think you're going to see the plan for the Ohio House. For the U.S. Congress, and you're going to see how we found the money to make this happen in a very logical way.
All right, we'll be waiting for that. Meanwhile, the president signed another executive order yesterday requiring federal agencies to cooperate with DOGE's efforts and cut costs, shrink the size of government. Here's Elon Musk with details. Watch this.
The 2 ingredients that are really necessary in order to cut the budget deficit in half from $2 trillion to $1 trillion. And it's really 2 things: competence and caring. And if you add competence and caring, you'll cut the budget deficit in half. And I fully expect to be scrutinized and get a daily proctology exam, basically. Might as well just camp out there. So it's not like I think I can get away with something. I'll be scrutinized nonstop. But with support of the president, we can cut the budget deficit in half from $2 trillion to $1 trillion.
So, Congressman, is that realistic in your view, cutting the deficit in half?
Absolutely, 100%. I think just looking at the federal workers that would have a pajama nation where they stay at home instead of getting into the workforce, I think the federal employees, we're going to see a lot of savings right there alone.
Did you say pajama nation?
Yeah, when the pandemic happened, everyone went home and stood in their pajamas, and it's time to put on the big boy pants and go back to work.
Pajama nation, I like that. All right, so look, spending is going to total $89 trillion over the next decade. Tax revenue will total $68 trillion over the next decade. So, I mean, you've got to raise money to cut into this interest, the single largest item in the budget behind Social Security, more than spending on defense, Medicare, and children. The Committee for a Responsible Budget has all of these facts on their website. What specifically do you see as the easy cuts?
Well, I think the easy cuts, you're going to see when you go through the list of these federal agencies and these insane projects they have with, helping these other countries. It's America first. When President Trump says America first, that's all we have to worry about. We have to worry about the blue-collar worker that put us in office. We have a mandate with all 3 branches, and the blue-collar worker doesn't care about what's going on in Europe or the rest of the world. They care about what's going on in America. We care about our homeless, we care about our borders, and we care about American jobs. So if we have to cut out all this foreign aid, that's fine. And if we have to put tariffs on these countries that aren't playing nice with us, that's fine too. That's what we did before we had an income tax. And it's time to get back to the basics, Maria.
All right. We will be watching that. And certainly after your markups, we'll talk again. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Michael Rulli joining us. Quick break and then wrongfully detained.